Hey guys, it's Alyssa Marie, your intuitive reader, and I thought I would do a different kind of video today. I'm going to show you all of the tarot decks and the oracle decks that I currently own as of 2019. So this is going to be probably a pretty long video. I'm not going to spend too much time on each deck because I encourage you guys, of course, to go ahead and do more research on one of these decks if you're interested. I'm going to have time-stamped below the particular decks that I'm going to be going through. So if you want to go ahead and look at those timestamps to find the deck, or if you just want to sit back, grab a cup of coffee, something to drink, something to snack on, and we're going to go through each deck, and I'm going to show you some of the images and tell you a little bit about the deck, how I connect with it, or if I do or if I don't. I have I wouldn't say it's a huge collection by any means, but I have quite a substantial amount of decks, I feel. And part of me, wants to minimize and try to use the decks that I actually use. There are several decks that I, haven't used ever. And, like when you see a deck and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful, I want it, but then you end up getting it and you don't connect with it and it's kind of crappy and you regret it and you try to use it and you just can't connect with it. There are some decks that I have like that. And there are decks that I've gotten as gifts that I don't really connect with. And, I might have some of those up for sale or for trade or something down the line. But anyway, I'm going to go through the tarot decks that I own, and then I'm going to go through the oracle decks that I own. So if you want to look at the tarot deck section, there's going to be the timestamp below, and then the oracle deck section. I do have more oracle decks than tarot decks, as I prefer oracle to tarot. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the first deck that I've ever gotten, and that would be the Green Witch Tarot. So I actually picked out this deck myself, and I did a lot of research, and I went into my local metaphysical store, and I knew I was going to get this deck. And I don't work with it as much as I hoped. I do work with it occasionally. As you can see, I love the artwork. It gives you very Celtic, kind of, pagan vibes. Very earthy vibes. There's a lot of earth energy in this deck. But I find myself being pulled to work with it in the spring. I don't know why that is, because there's a definite show of really all types of seasons within the deck. But yes, this was actually my first video on my channel, is I did a flip through of the Green Witch Tarot. Let's see if that's close enough for you guys. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So that was my first deck. I recommend, if you're into earthy kind of vibes, to check this one out. Okay, so that was my first ever tarot deck. I'm going to try to do it in the order that I got them, if I can remember. Yes, okay, the next deck I have here is the Gilded Tarot, and I actually got this as a gift from my boyfriend at the time. And normally I would have never picked out a deck like this, mainly because I'm not a huge fan of the collage digital style. But to my surprise, I have fallen in love with this deck. If you look at the bestsellers on like Amazon or Llewellyn or something like that, this is actually one of the bestsellers. It's very easy to read with. It's very direct. And I've actually fallen in love with the artwork. At first I was like, I never had this on my wish list, but there is something about it that I just love. And as you can see, like the sides, like they're worn. I did a lot of shuffling with this. It's a great learner's deck. Like with the other one, I wouldn't maybe recommend it for your first deck because some of the names change and there's extra cards, but this one is very true to the Rider-Waite system, and really it's just a change of artworks. It's a Rider-Waite clone. So that is the Gilded Tarot. Okay. All right, then the next deck that I got, okay, this is where it gets a little foggy here. I don't remember which decks I got Both of those decks, though, I got new. This deck, I actually got used from Half Price Books. If you don't know, go to Half Price Books if you have one. A lot of times people will donate their old decks, and if you're about that life, which I am, I have no problem with that, go check them out. But anyway, this is, I'm sure you guys all know, this is the Rider-Waite Smith. This is the Universal Waite. I saw this there, and I didn't have a Rider-Waite deck. And I thought, you know, can I really be this reader? Can I be someone who loves tarot and stuff and not have an original Rider-Waite? Which you totally can. But something pulled me to it, and I was like, you know, it was only like $7, and it was in great condition, as you can see. I don't know, did I show you the backs of the other one? Yeah, I did. These are the backs. I loved the backings, and of all of the Rider-Waites, this was my favorite. Like, this is the one that I would pick out. I'm not a big fan of some of the others. Like the original, the colors are kind of to me. I think a lot of people feel that way. The Radiant, I mean, I liked that one too, but yeah, so we all know what the Rider-Waite looks like, I'm pretty sure, so I won't spend too much time on that one, but that's the Universal Waite. Then I also got, I think this is the next one I got. Now this one is the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, however you want to pronounce it. The backings are just absolutely gorgeous on this deck, by the way. It's so like reflective, like a golden, beautiful. Now, I must say, I have never worked with this deck. I have looked at it, but I have never actually sat down and worked with this deck. This was a gift from, once again, my fiance, boyfriend at the time. And, you know, the reason why I have a hard time connecting with it, I'm not a big fan of the artwork. And also the system is very confusing because you've got like, what is this? Like, I think moons and like stars and suns, and those are the suits, and they don't really follow, as far as I'm concerned, the Rider-Waite system. Or if they do, I'm just very confused on how they do. Like, these are the moons, see? And they are like color-coded kind of, but those are the moons, and then there was like the stars, like here's the stars. And then the major arcana, those are more readable, but I just have a hard time with this deck. I really, it's probably one that I will trade or sell in the future. I mean, it has like no wear because I never really used it for anything. But yeah, there it is. Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. I mean, I definitely like I think like the guidebook goes into a lot of depth about it, and I might try to give another chance, but had it for several years. Okay, then let's see. Then I got this deck, and this I also got from Half Price Books because I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not like a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, but I definitely like it. I like the series. I've read some of the books, mainly just watched the movies, but my fiance, he loves Lord of the Rings, so I just figured, you know. And surprisingly, you know, sometimes with these decks, they kind of just take artwork and then they try to make it fit the meaning, you know, instead of like making a deck for it. Like in the case of like the Chicoli Tarot, even though a lot of people like how that works. But with this particular deck, the little, the pictures and the text at the bottom actually really goes with the actual meaning of the tarot. Like, for instance, this says the moon, and it says the power of the enemy seems stronger than it really is, you know, talking about illusion. And I like the artwork. It goes with the Lord of the Rings, of course. It uses the characters' names and the places and stuff. So if you don't know about the Lord of the Rings, like, it ain't really gonna make sense. But if you are a lover of the Lord of the Rings, like, I think this is a really cute little fun fantasy kind of deck to own. And really kind of detailed imagery here. And by the way, I have a flip through of all of these decks on my channel. If you are interested, you can always go and check out that. And then if I didn't show the backs, pretty sure I did. But those are the backs. I haven't really worked much with this either. I kind of just thought this would be a deck to just kind of have. But I'd like to work with it. So that is the Lord of the Rings Tarot. And then let's see, next we have, ooh, this deck I love. This is the Tarot de la Nuit. I bought this. This was on my wish list. Like as soon as it came out, I was like, yes. The backs are like this gorgeous purple. Some crescent moons on the back. And honestly, the reason I got this was like the artwork, obviously. Like the artwork is just beautiful. I don't remember the artist's name off the top of my head, but oh my gosh, I love it. And that's why, and I still love it like to this day. And this is my second most used. My most used tarot deck is actually the Rider-Waite because I'm still not 100% comfortable doing a lot of tarot readings. And the Rider-Waite goes ahead and, you know, makes it simple for me. This deck, the artwork is so beautiful, but sometimes it doesn't go with the meanings as much as I wish it did. So sometimes if you don't know, like if somebody says like 5 of Wands and you don't know necessarily what that is, that one, okay, that one kind of goes. But like Page of Wands, like this for instance, you know, you probably won't know what it means, or like 6 of Swords, and some of them really do. Like some of them you can really tell what it's saying, what the meaning is. Others it's a little unclear. I love that Lover's card. But there are some gorgeous images. Sorry, there's a glare here. There's some gorgeous images in this deck. Like, oh. And it is kind of like that digital style, but it's like very like photorealism. Like it's not like collagey or anything like that. I love that Fool. But yeah, this is like, if you like this kind of dark style, like I do, because I do, definitely check out this deck. Gorgeous. Pretty sure that was a painting that she did. It was supposed to look like Daenerys from Game of Thrones. It's one of those, I think, where they took her art and just made it into a tarot deck. I might be wrong, but it's just gorgeous. One of my favorites that I own, for sure. Okay, and then I think we went through, okay, we have 2 more tarot decks to go through, and then we'll head to the Oracle. This will be a long video, by the way, so feel free to, like, do something in the meantime or whatever. Come back to it. Now, this is kind of cute. I like this. This is the Spencer's Novelty Tarot deck. Like, this, I don't know if you guys know, you probably do. There's a store called Spencer's. It's kind of like Hot Topic. It's, in the mall usually. They sell like pop culture stuff and kind of new agey stuff too sometimes. And I just saw this and it was like literally like $5 or something. And I was like, what? And I had no idea what it looked like because I couldn't see. And there was like hardly any videos out of anybody looking at it. But I actually like it. Like I like the fact that it looks aged, how they did that. The artwork is just so cool. It's kind of like cartoony, but I love that. It's really unique, and even if you don't like read with it, it's just a really cool deck to like display. Like if you're doing like pictures for Instagram or, you know, pictures of any type, it looks like an ancient like Halloween-y, tarot-y, psychic-like deck. So I haven't done too much work with this one. And you'll see me saying I haven't done too much work with this one because a lot of them that I do have for tarot I received as gifts. The ones that I bought myself are the ones that I usually use the most. However, when we go through the oracles, you will see I use like all of them. Like I love my oracle decks. And there's nothing wrong with tarot. You know, I love tarot. I will always love tarot. But I like oracle because, you know, because I'm an intuitive reader, I can really use my intuition. Whereas with tarot, you know, it seems like, I mean, you can still use your intuition with tarot, but a lot of times it's just like, this is the answer and this is the only answer and this is what the meaning is. And I sometimes don't really necessarily like that for my readings, personal or for clients. Okay, so that is the Novelty deck from Spencer's, but I think Spirit Halloween also has the same one. but it's just literally on the box. It says like tarot deck, so it doesn't really have a name. Okay, and then lastly, for tarot decks, I have the Legends Tarot. And I also received this one as a gift. This one I really like. Yeah, the Anne Stokes Legends Tarot. So it uses her artwork. The only thing, the criticism I have about this deck, well, one, it's pretty small, by the way. Like, if I put it up to, like, well, I guess it's not that small. It just seemed small, okay. That's funny. Okay, it's not that small, but it seems small. The cardstock is like that really cheapy cardstock, but, you know, I kind of like that cardstock. Her artwork is really beautiful. It is a pip deck, though, which I'm not a huge fan of pip decks because I like to see artwork on every single card depicting the meaning versus like this. And this is what I mean by pip, in case you don't know. This is like a pip card. It's just showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 wands instead of like a picture. So those are, let me show you some of like the ones that aren't, though. And I think like the swords I think are all like dragons, and like the pentacles I think are fairies, and the cups are like wolves. So like that's really pretty. Those are upside down. The wands are like unicorns, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it might mix them together, but they're very slippy. They're like those glossy cards. All of these are upside down. Let me turn them around so we can see what we are doing. But yeah, it's a very fantastical, if that's the word, deck. And if you're into that, like, it is very visually appealing, except for the pip card thing I'm not a big fan of. But yeah, that is the Legends Tarot. Anne Stokes Legends Tarot. Woo, they're very slippy slidey. So now that we've gone through all of the tarot decks, I'm going to go ahead, pause the video, and go get my oracles. And that one, I have a lot more oracle than tarot, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, I am back. I have to, like, you see them in the background because there's not enough room on this table for this. I have a lot of oracle decks, more than I thought. Not like a ton like some people, but more than I thought I did. So this is like, wow. So let's start. So the first oracle deck, and actually the first divination deck of any sort that I got, was the Le Vampire deck. I got it in 2014. Yeah, that was before tarot. So here it is. I still love this deck. It holds a special place in my heart. I'm more gravitated towards it during fall time, but I will use it all year around. It is kind of a darker deck, but that's something that I like about it because it's not all fluffy like a Doreen Virtue deck. And believe me, I do have some of those. But it has a good balance, I think, of of darker and lighter themes, but the whole artwork is, of course, about vampires. So it is a little dark, but I love her artwork. I love her style, like the big eyes style. I just like it. I know some people aren't a huge fan of it, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the cards. I'll try to go a little faster than I did with the tarot. These are the backs. So that's that. Le Vampire. That is the first one I got. Now I'm not going to go in any order, any particular order. I just wanted to show you the first one. So this next one I got is called the Green Oracle. I love the backs. Raindrops on a leaf. And this deck, you know, is very simplistic, and that's what I like about it. I also found this at Half Price Books. I find a lot of my decks there, surprisingly. But, you know, like the world around me, coexist. Very simple themes, and I feel like you can use your intuition to really, like the guidebook's nice, but you can really use your intuition to find what this particular card means to you or the person you are reading for. Like environment. I mean, you could really go a long ways with that. And the seasons and company, heat, but I like the artwork. Very simplistic artwork, very simplistic messages, but really you're able to find some pretty deep meanings in it. Nature's imperfection, I like that card. The life cycle, but as it's called the Green Oracle, it's very nature-based. Okay, so that's the Green Oracle. Next, we have the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Those are the backs. This is another deck that is like the Les Vampires deck. Les Vampire, what was that? Lucy Cavendish and, well, Jasmine Beckett Griffith is the artist. She's the one who has that kind of style that I like, as you can see. That's why I have two of the decks. I want to get like the Myths and Mermaids as well, because I like that art style. And the messages are really good. Also, very good blend here of good or positive and realistic messages. So if you're into that, like I am, this is also a good deck for that. So, like I said earlier, if you want to see all the cards, I have all the cards uploaded on my channel in a playlist that you can look through each card. Okay, that was Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Now we're going to go to the Goddesses and Sirens deck. So those are the backings. There's also the Gods and Titans deck, which I also have. I'll show you that one afterwards, after this one. But I love this deck. I do a lot of work with it. It's a great way to be introduced to new deities as well, new goddesses in this case. And the guidebook is really good for, it's a really good guidebook is what I'm trying to say, because it goes in depth about the goddess or the god in the other deck, and it also has invocations for that particular deity. And it's very diverse. It's not just like Norse gods or Greek gods, you know, it's gods from all different types, goddesses and gods. In this case, just goddesses. This is just the goddesses and sirens from all different cultures and all different parts of the world. It's a good way to get introduced to new ones. Okay, so that's that. I love the artwork there. So now I'll show you the Gods and Titans deck. Where did I set that? That's over here. So this is the Gods and Titans. The Goddesses and Sirens is gold on the back. The Gods and Titans is silver. This is another one that I love doing work with. And I love finding out new things about each god, doing more research into the god, finding more out about them and how I can incorporate them into my practice. Also a good balance between gods that are, you know, kind of darker and gods that are more like Typhon, anger, rage. Like that's a good one, you know. That's a good one. And like Apuk, fear, you know, it's showing both sides, you know. It's not just fluffy goddesses and things and love and peace and helping, which it's in there too, but it shows a good variety. Okay, so that's that deck. Next, we have the Celtic Tree Oracle. This is very interesting, good deck, a very interesting and good deck if you are into trees in the Celtic sense. And it goes through each tree. The guidebook is really great for this one. Talks about your birth tree, and if you're into like botanical things, you know, this is a good deck for you. I love the borders. I think the artwork is good, simplistic, but good. The image is really big for you. Now, this doesn't have any keywords, so you would definitely I did, need to read the guidebook to really understand the meanings of these cards until you get them down. But it's a good deck. It's very good if you're into that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the Celtic Tree Oracle. Next, we will go to a little bit of a fluffy deck here. This is the Magical Unicorns Oracle. This is a Doreen Virtue deck. It's got gold gilding. It's good for positive, uplifting messages. Excuse me. But it is very fluffy, you know. But I mean, what else can you really expect from Doreen Virtue? At the time, she was very fluffy about her decks and her books and things like that. So, but if that's the kind of deck that you're looking for and you have a love for unicorns like I do, then it is a nice deck for that. So that is that one. Really pretty images, and I love the backs. Like, that is a gorgeous image. Gorgeous gilding. It's a very stunning visually stunning deck. I'm getting my words all mixed up today. Okay, next we have the Past Life Oracle, also by Doreen Virtue. I was doing a lot of work into past lives, doing past life readings, and that's upside down, for myself and for others. And I quite like this deck. It's very simple again, but it has, you know, you can go really far in a reading with ships or Native American, you know. I quite like it. Some people aren't a huge fan of the imagery because it is photos. It isn't drawings or anything. It is photos. But I like it. Galactic Father Trees. As you can see, it's just usually one word. Very simple. But it's a good deck for diving into your past life, I think. One of your past lives, anyway. All right, next I'm going to do, actually this is a Lenormand deck. This isn't an oracle, but it's the only Lenormand that I have. It is the, gosh, what is it called? And I left the box in the other room. Why can't I think of this? Gilded Reverie, there we go. I could not think of that. Lenormand. I love it. I really do love it. I want to do more with Lenormand readings on my channel because I love Lenormand readings because they're very direct and they're simple cards to read. And every, you know, Lenormand deck is going to have like man, mountain, tree, fox, which is pretty cool. And this one I think is like the extended version or the expanded or whatever you want to call it. So it has some extra cards like compass. Well, maybe that's in the original one. I'm not sure, but there's like two birds. There's like birds 1, birds 2. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This is the backings. So that's actually a Lenormand deck. Then I have this deck. Oh, and I love this deck so much. This is the Numinous Astro deck. So it's, I would say it's like an oracle. But basically, if you're into astrology or wanting to know more about astrology like I am, I recommend picking up this deck. It has the planets, it has like different aspects that have different houses, and it goes in depth about keywords about that particular house, about that particular sign, like Sagittarius, the Voyager. See, it goes into all that detail. And then the guidebook is actually really nice. The box is like freaking beautiful. I love the style of the artwork. The artwork is like a collage-y style again, like as you can see there, but it's color coded as well. Like this is like a light pink, and then the planets are like a blue, and for some reason everything's upside down. The signs are like a, I think I said that already, pink, didn't I? But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Sorry, I was doing readings, so that's why everything's all jumbled up here. But I think you get the picture. Planets, aspects, houses, all that good stuff. And then this is the backing, which I love. Pretty cool. The galaxy background. Really good for learning more about astrology. And my foot fell asleep again. My foot keeps falling asleep today. Okay. This is another fluffy deck here. For all you fluffy duck lovers, is the Angels of Abundance Oracle. This is by Doreen Virtue again. So, good for positive, uplifting messages. Not very good for realistic messages all the time. But, you know, this one actually has some, like, you know, darker messages, I shouldn't say darker, more realistic messages, like face your financial fears. You know, that's pretty like, yeah, I need to watch what I'm spending, guys. Detox your friendships. Let go of guilt. There are some things that are a little bit more on the realistic side. But beautiful images, of course, as always. I mean, really, she does have beautiful images in her deck about angels, and I mean, all of these are angels. If you like angels, I like angels a lot. Love angels. But that is what that deck looks like. Angels of Abundance. Okay. Then, ooh, this is kind of change of direction, but I love this deck. This is the Halloween Oracle. I love the cutesy little bats and pumpkins and cats and brooms. But, like, this is, like, cutesy, and you're like, oh, yeah, cutesy. And then you get into the deck, and you're like, damn, this is pretty deep. But I love the imagery. The illustrations are beautiful. Dark, very dark deck. Very good for fall time, Halloween time. I, though, however, use it all year long because my life is Halloween all year long because I love horror. I love scary stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I love dark stuff. But for most people, they use it around fall time. Like us. It's August, like, I don't know what day it is today. August something. I can't think what day it is. But it's like before the 15th. It's like the 14th or 13th. I'm not for certain. But I went to the Spirit Halloween store today, and like most people would be like, what the heck? Like, why would you go to a Halloween store in August? And like nobody was like there, but like of course I know as soon as it opens. And I am there. Other people are like, oh, Halloween decor. And I'm like, ah, house decor. I'm like, yes. But that's me. And that deck I love. Okay, another fluffy deck. Went from Halloween to fluffy. This is the Healing with the Faeries deck by Doreen Virtue again. Wow, I have a lot of her decks. Very simple, but very direct deck, again. I like, one of the things I don't like about this is, like, if you can see up close, like, it looks okay on this camera, but this is, like, a blurry, low-res image, which is, like, pretty sad. And a lot of these images are from different artists, so, like, sometimes they don't really go together. This one's not terrible, this deck. I notice that certain people will do that. Like, this is a really cool, I like that style, but then, like, not that the other style is bad, because it ain't. And everyone's art is beautiful. But, you know, we all have our own preferred styles, and when it's not cohesive and it has, you know, this kind of style, and then it goes to, like, some other type of style. I don't know if you can really see that here. I'm trying to find one. Like, this style, like, it's a little bit more not as detailed, and it's just a lot different than some of the others. Like, this is a clearly different style than, like, this style. I don't know. You could see it better in person, but fairies, there's a lot of fairies in it. Pretty cool deck. I like it. Alright, next up we have the Druid Animal deck. I believe that's what it's called. I left the boxes in the other room, so if I do get any of these wrong, I very much apologize. I'll have the correct name in the timestamps, though. So that's the back. I got these used as well, but I love this deck. Beautiful imagery. I know I say that about like every deck, but I love like that realistic kind of look. That's like my art style that I like. And I love the animals, and the guidebook is awesome. It's like a hardback guidebook. You can create your own. I never have though. It goes in depth about this particular animal. But they also have kind of mystical animals in here, like an earth dragon. They have water dragon. That was like the first one we went over. But then, you know, there's eagle, stag, fox, things like that. There's another create your own. There's another fire dragon, adder. Really cool deck. Then we have the, ooh, I forget what this one's called. Animal Messages, I believe. And I really like this deck. I use it a lot. I'll just let you look. Has cute little messages. Well, they're not always cute, by the way. They're a little like hard hitting sometimes. Like if I come across the hummingbird, I think it's the hummingbird one, I will show you. But let's see if I can find the hummingbird. Because that one's kind of just like, whoa. Like I'll show you what I mean. Like you guys are probably like, what? I will come across it and I will show you. But yeah, anyway, these are just very pretty little animals. Cute little, oh, here we go. Hummingbird. Now look at this message. Turn away from infidelity so that love may blossom. It's like, whoa, are you saying I'm a cheater? Like, is someone else cheating? You know, it's like, damn, that hit deep. But, like this is a good one. Like the alchemy of energy teaches that death will always yield new life. You know, there's some really good messages in here, and a really pretty nice artwork. Really, really nice artwork. So that's the Animal Messages deck. Okay, then we have the Crystal Angels deck, another Doreen Virtue. This is probably my favorite Doreen Virtue deck that I do own now, because the imagery is just gorgeous. And the crystal name is up here, and then you have the image of the angel, and then you have a short little blurb about it. And these aren't like specific angels. These are just angels. They're not like archangels or anything. But really pretty images. And then it talks about the crystal as well in the guidebook. It's a good guidebook. And I like how, like, when you look from the side, it's just like beautiful rainbow of colors. Okay, that is the Crystal Angels Oracle. Next, we have the Secret Language of Color. I like this. Very cheapy cardstock, by the way, but I like it. I like that cardstock. It's very easy to shuffle. So, this has the color, and then it has a little message like nurture yourself, nourish your body and soul, chocolate, sapphire. I love colors, and I love colors. And I've actually done research on like color therapy, and like that's totally a thing. Like you can like meditate on a color and be like very immersed in that color, and like it can actually really, really help your mood and really change your look on life. Like that one, coral. Let's see, like pink, let love in, burgundy, awaken your passion, gray. I love it. I love this card because that's like my favorite color ever. Aqua, the pool, watermelon, inner child. That's a cute card. So yeah, I like that deck a lot. Next, okay, I think we're coming down. Yes, we are. We only have two more. I know this is like a really long video, probably. Maybe not, though. I don't know. This is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And oh my gosh, I love it. So you got the animal, then you got the element that the animal falls under, like water here for the swan. Really good paper cardstock. I love that cardstock. I'm not like that big on cardstock, but like I can just say like you can tell it's like good quality. there's a hummingbird. Don't cheat. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, you guys, you probably think I'm crazy. The earthworm, moth, gazelle, and it kind of has some animals that you wouldn't necessarily expect, like the earthworm. They also have like mystical spirit type animals like the phoenix. They've got dragons in here. Ooh, look at that shark. That is cool. Elk, and oh, the artwork is just to die for, don't you guys think? I love the artwork. Let's see if I can find some of the more, like, look, black egg, unicorn, dragon. Lovely deck if you like animals. Which, who doesn't like animals? I mean, come on, everybody loves animals. And then lastly here, we have, and I believe this is all my decks. I might be missing some, but I'm pretty sure this is all of them. This is the Saints and Mystics reading cards, it's called. And the deck is basically split into the Saints and then the Mystics. The Mystics have this blue background, and the Saints have this, like, cathedral type, holy looking light background. But like, so this will be a saint. It'll say Saint Jude, Saving Grace. And oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Here's a mystic, Marie Laveau, Saint Francis. And there's a keyword. And then the guidebook, by the way, is really good for this. It goes in depth, pretty much in depth about who this person is, and then what the meaning is and how you can apply it to your life. I love it. It's again kind of one of those like photo realism things. Like it's a photo, but it's not a photo, you know? Like probably like people are like, what? You know what I mean though. Like it's a photo, but it's not a photo. It's like digitalized photo art. But it's not like, it's really realistic looking and awesome. So I saw this deck come out and I knew I had to have it. So I went and picked that bad boy up pretty quickly. So that's that one. Oh, right. I think that and then what's nice about this though, I was going to say, is that if you want just a message from like a saint, you can split this up into just this or just a mystic this, which is nice. And you know what like you're pulling if you pull this and you're like, oh, it's a mystic. But anyway, I believe that is my last Oracle deck. So we've got through the video, Tarot Oracle deck collection plus one Lenormand as of 2019 August 2019. I will probably be getting more, possibly getting rid of some. I'll let you guys know though if I'm planning on getting rid of any and trading with you guys or selling with you guys. I'll like make a post about it so that maybe we can do that, because there are some in here that I just don't use, and that hopefully somebody else can find a way to use them more than I do instead of just sitting on my shelf. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!